All right, y'all are live. I will be watching and
Critiquing.
well, not critiquing, but like I'll be there in case stuff goes wrong, but I will not be involved in the conversation. I love you all. Have a good show. Break a leg, but not in real life.
For sure.
There.
Is there a bigger topic you want to do after the regular topics? Like what's... It's just like a big news feed.
I mean, what else is there? It's been kind of dead. That's not like too in the weeds or too. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We could talk about PAX. That'd be a little thing.
Is that still a thing? Are they still doing it?
Yeah, their whole online thing. They're being pretty, compared to other online events that I've been diving into.
Which
they
have been
seem to be
boo-boo.
Yeah, but they look like they're making like a pretty cool experience. Hold on, I'm writing out our...
Oh, okay. I was
Our
like trying to
outline.
spam things.
Yeah.
Puppy got to do agility lessons today.
Nice.
I am very out of shape.
That's what the lessons taught you. It's like, boy, I'm out of shape.
Well, she's very fast. So,
Okay.
yes.
See that big one I put there? Oh, it doesn't do the spaces right. God damn it! I hate this. This freaking thing. Okay.
Oh, fascinating. So I don't know how much you know about agility. There are basic obstacles like tunnels. You know what tunnels are?
Yeah. I watch the Mr. Dog show from time to time.
Yeah. So today's class had 9 tunnels in a row,
Nice.
which are different like angles and stuff, but it's still, that means it's really fast.
Okay. So it's like the little accordion little tubes that they put out and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they'll be like either straight or curved.
Curved and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like rotating around, and then there was the rest of the course. But I was like, I'm
Like,
old.
slow down, Doc.
Has everybody shared the episode today?
I have
Nope.
not.
Oh, it's
Give me
not
one
numbered. Yeah, but this becomes a pain in the ass for me in London later when I'm trying to organize all the YouTube episodes and like no
True.
one says the thing. And I'm like, well, I'd love to know what episode this is. And then what if we get huge and then people like listen to us 5 episodes at a time?
I mean,
I say that because that's what happens when I found out a friend has a podcast or even like just discover one. And then I watch them out of order. I get real sad. And I'm like, oh. So, okay. So this will be 65. 65.
I can't spell.
Oh, wait.
Here.
This isn't 65.
I thought we already did 60. No, we haven't done 69 yet, have we?
I thought we did do 69.
I thought we
Yeah,
did.
are we on like 70 something?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're numbered real funny on here. Well, I'm just going to... I don't know what to call
That's
it.
crazy because we were up to like 100 and something, and then we rebranded, and now we're back up to like 70.
Yeah, I haven't been able to keep track, so...
That's nuts.
All right.
Next week we'll be updated.
Whatever. Today will be episode question marks.
Episodes?
Yeah, we gotta, we get the YouTube straight, and then I get all the other stuff straight, and I think we'll be fine. But we're all shared. We're good.
Yeah, apparently I'm not in the chat watching it, so I can't watch her. Trying to watch
Stotts is
her
in there,
comment.
baby.
Yeah.
Maddie Stotts.
There we go.
Always up in there. Hey, Matt, I sent you a Facebook invite. You want to be my friend?
Okay,
let's
I'm
be
doing the
friends.
click for the Soundcasting Network. That's 3, 2, 1. Good early evening, maniacs. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast, Salt Tier, where your argument is...
Beer.
Your argument is beer, but it's also invalid. We are not coming to you from Studio 212, but we are still in Seattle, Washington, here in the United States of COVID. It's fantastic. We're number one.
The
We're
greater
number one.
Seattle metropolitan area.
The greater
let's say.
Seattle metropolitan area, outside of King County, right? I'm the only one in King.
Technically, yeah.
Oh, you're technically on the Snohomish as well?
Yeah, I live right by you, silly goose.
Yeah, but I'm in a different city.
Nope. Everything north of Shoreline is whatever.
So you're technically Edmonds, not Shoreline?
Yep.
Okay. So Shoreline is is still that Costco though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So everything north of there. We are Snohomish County. That's why our utilities aren't stupid expensive. But anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. Whatever. This is Soundcasting Network's very own district lining and geography podcast, where your argument is
Banana
Costco.
Yes.
We are proudly brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA. Yeah. Oh, look at that beautiful thing. And go ahead.
Oh, that's a new one.
It is the 1985. If you wanted to explain who they are, and then I can explain what it tastes like and stuff.
Oh, sure. Hey, y'all, it is B Corp certified and employee owned. A fantastic line of IPAs from the New Belgium Brewery. # drink rangerously. Thank you very kindly.
So this one, I believe, yes, it's the rotating. So I really hope that our delivery comes in with this one, because it is a mango IPA.
Ooh.
It is so delicious.
Artwork on it is so good.
It is
as usual.
Super amazing. It says on the bottom right here, that's a mango IPA.
It's got like a little mango themed fanny pack there.
Oh, you're right.
And if you look on our on-screen HUD that we got going on right now, we have a little.
Oh yeah, that's the picture right there.
Yeah, you are using it.
Nice. We're using it. I thought it was the most salt tier of the Voodoo Ranger arts.
I guess we'll have to change it seasonally.
Yeah,
it's
I put an S on
also
arts.
6.7% alcohol.
Ooh, it'll get you there.
It's really delicious.
Watch out when drinking those Voodoo Rangers. Drink rangerously. Yes.
Drink rangerously. Mm-hmm. And before we get started, I want to give big ups to the man behind the curtain, the Emperor Elote, the Lieutenant Linguini. I really like that one.
He's
and
watching.
The Regent of Rigatoni.
He's watching.
We got Keith the Boogie
doing the technical things.
Our super producer for the Soundcasting
Network.
Fantastic podcasts like The Glow Up and one of my favorites, How to Be a Better Drinker, which I've been listening to all week.
Are you guys getting
all
drops?
About booze? Qua?
Are you guys getting drops? Are you guys noticing anything? Is everything look good?
No, we got a little pinwheel, but I think we're okay.
Okay.
Famous last words, but we're going to carry on until we get interrupted. First and foremost, I got to introduce everybody here on the dais. We'll call it a dais. But before I do that, if you're not already liked and subscribed, we are Salt_Tier_Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We are just Salt Tier Podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and pretty much everything else. I think Instagram and Twitter are the only ones that needed the underscore. And so let your friends know. Consume us however you seem fits your soul. And then I will kick this to the only one wearing a tie.
I was like, what? Technically, it's a waistband. It's not even a tie.
Neck wrap.
Yes, because I got a long freaking neck and I need to accent it, so I'm just not a neck. It's me, Sage.
Sage the neck.
Sage Bell. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, at Sage Bell, Instagram and Facebook at SageBell_model. I did do a Street Fighter set that I may or may not post publicly, or you'll only see it on my Patreon. Because I'm judging myself too hard for it.
You're always your own worst critic.
Yes, but it's also because I tried to do the stupid sexy anime girl face. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I got you. You don't want somebody to clip it. You don't want a little screen grab right there.
Oh no, it's just still photos. I didn't do a video.
Okay.
I can't do that. It's so weird. I edited the photos. So I was like.
So you're saying you got a new profile picture?
I'm also really bad at crossing my eyes, apparently.
It's a skill.
Yeah. So I guess below me.
What's up? You got the Savorings ... If you're watching the video stream or you're gonna go check it out eventually on the YouTubes or on our Facebook, I am dressed the opposite of Sage Bell. She's killing it right now, and I've got my pajamas on basically. How y'all doing? Don't really have too much news to report this week as far as like what I've been doing and all that kind of stuff. I'm just waiting for some newer stuff to come out, such as Cyberpunk and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we'll get into all that as the show goes on. So let's go.
What are you
I
playing,
guess we'll
Derek?
carry on then here. Sorry, I am Loudnbrown. That is at Loudnbrown. It's the letter N, letter N and not and. And that is on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to play some games, I am Gross Steph with a PH on PS4. On Steam, I think I'm only playing Tekken, and I missed this Wednesday because I had banned stuff. So haven't been on the Steam recently, but it's good to know that it's pretty easy setup in the living room. It drops more than my PS4 does. Not to the point where it's going to like dismiss me from ever doing it. But, you know, maybe like once a night if I try to do like too many things on my poor little PC. That has a lot to do with how strong my PC is. But it totally is capable and I could play games on it. But and like it allows me to play with all my PC friends, which apparently is a lot of the anime scene is also on PC.
Yep.
So neat.
Yep.
And with that, we will get to. I mean, that's literally all I played today. So we'll get to the topics.
Oh well, I guess I never actually said what I played.
Oh, what did you play this week, Sage Bell?
I don't even know anymore. Oh, I played Borderlands 3 finally. Started to get into it, actually, and liking it now. It only crashed on me once.
That game. That game.
Crashtastic?
We'll get
Oh
into
my gosh.
we'll get into more bad ports later on in the show, but Borderlands 3 is legit a bad port.
It got a little better. Matt Stotts watched me on Friday. I was playing Tekken, but then I moved to story mode in Tekken, and it was atrocious.
It's rough.
It
It's
is
long.
rough.
It's very long.
Oh my god, Akuma is the worst to play.
He's weird, but you know, I'm a Street Fighter player, so that was more familiar than. Oh, I'm trying to think of the weirdest characters they make you play. You have to play Kasumi a couple times, right?
Maybe. Yeah, that's the girl who turns into. She's got the wings and the
No.
tiger?
Yeah, the tiger. Yes.
I was gonna say Voldo, but that's Soul Calibur.
That is Soul Calibur. Yoshimitsu goes between both, though.
Yes.
Yoshimitsu.
I'm sorry. Read that. Borderlands 3, bad port.
Borderlands 3. Played more grounded.
That game I really do like as well. I want to wait and go back and play it when it finally releases. But what I played of it so far, because I have Game Pass, what I played of it so far, I really do like it.
Oh, okay. So I've successfully played it cross-play with PC to Xbox.
Nice.
Matt and I have been playing it. I did not die by Wolf Spider this most recent time, and I found 2 of them.
Nice. Well,
Wolf Spiders are big.
I will join you guys once that game actually gets released.
Wolf Spiders insta-kill you. It's not cool. It's terrifying.
But they're cute.
The little yellow spiders, I think I'm strong enough finally to take a yellow stripy spider, but the wolf spiders are just like, ha! You can't even run!
Yeah.
Wowzers.
All right, let's go into topics.
It's a pretty cool game. Oh, could I jump in? Because I didn't say what I was playing either, but I'll make it quick.
Okay.
Talk about it.
I've been playing Surprise Stellaris, but
Shock.
This time last week, I had a really, really weird sci-fi dream, and I created that scenario in Stellaris, and I've been playing it, and it's just as weird as my dream, probably weirder. So before I just like snowball and talk about it forever and ever, it's just weird. Just let it be known. I made a scenario in a game based on a sci-fi dream, and the game itself is actually weirder than the dream. And I went back and I've been catching up on my games with wheels and my games with my flight stick. Elite Dangerous. That game is super involved. It was too much for me to want to learn and then have to unlearn later because I'm not going to play it later. So that was an uninstall. But no disrespect to all the dangerous players out there. It's really cool. It's really involved. It works really good with the stick, but it was just it was more a game than I wanted. I wanted to just fly around and shoot stuff. And I played Garfield Kart Racing.
Whoa! So
with the
normal's
wheel.
God tier.
I don't know. I only played like the first couple of races just to mess
Okay.
with the stick, just to play a racing game. If you've ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese and you know that crappy kart racing game they have there, and you're like, am I even controlling anything? That's basically Garfield Kart Racing.
And if you really want to date ourselves, Russ, remember when we went back to Showbiz Pizza and played the racing games?
Showbiz Pizza. Yeah.
Where a kid can be a kid.
Well, I have kids, so I've kind of semi-recently played that game at Chuck E. Cheese, maybe like 8 or 9 months
Damn,
ago.
Chuck E. Cheese is still hanging out?
It's
No, didn't
still
they
hanging
just
out.
fold?
They might, yeah.
I think they folded due to COVID.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know they
Maniacs.
were doing pickups for a while, but that's all. I know.
Ah.
Ew.
To
I know.
clue in everybody, Maniacs, Chuck E. Cheese is a chain of entertainment/pizza restaurants.
Yes.
They are loosely neither of those.
Yeah.
The pizza's mediocre and the games sometimes work. That's the thing I remember so much about going to Showbiz Pizza is going to a birthday party and half of the games are broken.
Well, and also
being pretty mad.
when it was Showbiz, they had actual arcade games. If you go into a Chuck E. Cheese now, there's maybe like 2 or 3 games that you'd recognize, and the rest are like they only exist at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, they're like proprietary like rides
No, they're like arcade machines, but they're like
with the
Chuck E.
Showbiz
Cheese
Pizza,
themes?
the Chuck E.
no,
Cheese characters.
It's just like balloon pop, and you're like, what's this? And then there's like a little racing game, and you put your tokens in, and you're like, am I even controlling anything? And you get the tickets at the end.
What? That
You know-
sounds like a hustle.
It is.
As a kid, all I was about was those play areas, not even like the video game areas at those places, because you could play tag with all your friends in the play areas
That's
and
true.
get really effed up in them.
I mean, but when I was really little, and this is going back, you guys, this is like late 70s, early 80s, they had actual games. That's where I saw Dragons Lair for the first time, Gauntlet for the first time, Zaxxon.
Dragon's Lair's princess was almost too sexy for me.
Yeah,
when
it was
I
a little
young.
risque. Yeah, yeah.
I was
and
like,
again,
hey, girl, that's that side boob on
yeah.
a.
Yeah, and she had like the little like sheer thing on. You know, when you're like 5-year-old boy and you see that, you know, yeah, you get like the little, you get like the little.
This
you get, like, the little,
predated that. There was
yeah.
nothing sexy at this time.
Yeah,
Because even but by that standard,
Name the game again.
you had Sonya, and you had Chun-Li, which by
No.
today's standards
I'm
are
talking-
basically nuns.
I'm-
I'm saying the things I'm trying to think of even around that time. That's the only thing I could think of.
no, dude, this is like early 80s. The only girl you saw in an arcade machine was like Pauline, who Jumpman was trying to rescue. Not Mario. That's not Mario and Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it's Jumpman.
Yeah. Was Pauline
So yeah,
and
Dragon's
Olive
Lair
Oil.
was.
Yeah. So like when you see that and it's all like Don Bluth animation style that she's got
Oh,
the little
that game.
sheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got
Just
the
say
little
Don Bluth.
she's got the little sheer nighty thing on. You know, when you're a 5-6-year-old boy, you're like, why am I feeling this way down here? Like, what's happening? But it's a cool game.
It's not even that. It's like, ew, girls have cooties.
No, to me, like, yes, you are of that cootie age, but like what do they call it? Like your fish brain kicks in, your instincts kick in, and you don't know what's happening. But
Mine
you're
kicked
like,
in pretty late.
I'm like, I don't
It
know
wasn't
what's
until at
happening.
least the double digits where I was even curious about
Like,
anything.
ew, icky a girl, but I can't look away at the same time. So,
Dragon Slayer's not the Don Bluth game.
yeah, Dragon's Lair. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did
Dragon
the
Lair. There you go.
Dragon's Lair. Yeah, yeah. He did
I'm
the
hearing
artwork.
Dragon Slayer.
Okay. Yeah. He did the artwork for that in Space Ace.
Yeah, I have Space Ace.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been playing on. Just a lot of Wheels and Hotas and Stellaris. That's about it.
Tight. But, Maniacs, so much news this week. And almost none of it has to do with this. So I'll kick it off to my very attractive co-hosts, and they will walk you through.
That's us. That's us, Sage. Would you like to go first, or who's going first?
What are we? What?
We'll start off with Savorings.
Real quick, I didn't write this in the in our little feed, or I didn't post this on Facebook, but Dr. Disrespect came back this week.
Oh,
And kind of popped up and kind of spoke his piece on what happened at Twitch, and basically he doesn't know why they banned him and all that kind of stuff too. But his first stream, he had 15 million viewers.
good God.
15 million.
That's
That's
so
like a lot,
gross.
even for
Viewers.
like top tier streaming, right? Like
That
that's-
crushes top tier streaming. Yeah, I don't know what the record was before that on Twitch, but 15 million, that's a lot. He only had two. At the time when he started the stream, he had 2.2 million subs. When he ended, he had 2.9. He got 500,000 subs. And,
What was his platform?
he's on YouTube now. So yeah.
Well, we're trying to do it.
Yeah. So 15 million.
We've been trying.
He has 18 million members on his channel. That's 18 million people that paid him at least $1 to join his membership.
That's
Good
$18
Lord.
million.
At the very least. And he was getting donations for $500, $600, $1,000 left and right.
Whew.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
I've watched
Gaming
videos and I don't get it.
Oh,
You don't get the doctor? You don't get the two-time? The two-time 6'8", 47-inch vertical leap, 1993, 1994 Blockbuster World Champion?
Dr. Disrespect?
Yes. You don't get that? Come on. The Champions Club? I don't know. It's just funny. He plays a funny character. I like it. It's funny.
It's a funny character, but it ain't me. Be right back. Continue.
Yep.
I was gonna say, did you hear about the other streamer who was looting during the riots and is now being investigated by the FBI?
There's quite a few. What's up with Jake Paul? Is it Jake? It's not
Yeah,
Logan,
that's
it's
the
Jake.
guy.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, they raided his house.
Yeah.
Jake freaking Paul. Yeah. What's up with those two meatheads? And his brother used to date Quake from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah.
It's all about looking cool for the internet, I guess.
Was that the same one that got in trouble over in Japan, over in the suicide forest?
Oh, that's not my area of expertise. That would definitely be a Goon question. He knows all the streamers.
Dude went over there. I think it was Jake, not Logan. I get him confused. Logan was the one that was on Disney Channel. Jake is the streamer one, right? So Jake went over to Japan and he went to the suicide forest and he actually had people on film like dead.
Oh, yeah.
So, and he got busted for that and got pretty much kicked out of Japan and never to return, or else they'll arrest him on site because you're not supposed to film in there. So yes, Jake Paul got raided by the FBI. That was the thing that happened. That made mainstream news. What else we got? Oops. Wait, hold on, Keith. Got a message from Keith. Marvel Avengers. The mostly anticipated game. I won't get into my editorial. I'll give you my hot take on the game in a moment.
Sure. Before the hot take, can you explain to the maniacs and Old Man Loudnbrown what this game is? Because the only one I'm familiar with is the mobile game my roomie plays. And I've seen that Alliance or whatever.
Marvel Strike Force? Is that what you're...
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I've seen. So I assume within the last couple years since the Disney takeover, there's been a handful of Avengers games.
No, because Disney does not care about video games. And it's kind of shocking. They closed down the studio that made the Burnout games, which everyone loved, closed that down. They just threw away the license to EA, and we've all known what the debacle that's been.
And then Star Wars 2 is just...
Yes, the Star Wars license, they threw it off the EA. They closed down a bunch of stuff. They closed Disney Infinity, which was their Skylanders, just shut that down.
I saw that.
Bob Iger cares nothing of video games, which is weird.
It's really unfortunate that dude is even... Oh, no, I'm thinking of Ike.
Yeah, Mr. Perlmutter, he's still over there.
They're going to get rid of that jackass, too. But anyway,
all of them need to go.
So aside from Strike Force, this is like the only other big Avengers game. This is the only Avengers game.
The only Avengers game.
It
sounded very promising. Made by Square Enix. Made by the same team that makes... What
kind of a game is it?
It's your typical third-person action adventure. So if you play consoles, it's like 80% of the other games where the camera's behind you and you're running around doing stuff. This one's kind of on rails. It's story-driven. It looks kind of generic to me a little bit. The character models are not good. It reminds me of... Has anybody seen Spaceballs? You guys remember Spaceballs?
Just the movie.
You remember the part when they capture the heroes and they turn them around and they're like, you idiots, you caught their stunt doubles? Like, that's the character models in this game. It looks
They're
like
rough.
Stunt doubles. Yes.
The thing that's weird about it is I'm assuming that has to have something with them not having the rights.
You know what? And that's fine, but don't make a shitty character model. Like, I'm talking in general, like not even using their likenesses. It just looks bad. It looks like they put their B team on it. It looks like a student project from like Full Sail University or like DigiPen or something. But I bring this up because Sony has come out and said, hey, Spider-Man's an exclusive on the PlayStation version.
Ooh.
So they're locking
massive news.
So they're locking away Spider-Man only on the PlayStation.
Which joins God of War, right?
Well, God of War itself, period, the whole thing is a PlayStation thing, but this is
Yeah.
a multi-plat that you can be able to get on the PC, you'll be able to get it on the Xbox and the PlayStation, but the only place you can play as Spider-Man is on the PlayStation, which
That's
is
a
lame.
big plus. So
lame as hell.
to bring this back to another time where something like this happened was, and everybody knows I'm going to talk about it, is Soul Calibur 2. It got released on 3 consoles. It got released on the GameCube.
Yes.
It got released on the PlayStation and the Xbox, right?
But
got
that
Link.
was not the same because each version did have a compelling
They
character.
had their own,
Yes.
right? And it was
Yes.
like GameCube is arguably the one people wanted because being able to play with Link
Yes.
was awesome.
And Spawn
yes,
was awesome on the
Heihachi was
Xbox.
cool.
And Spawn was awesome on the Xbox. It was
Spawn
cool seeing
was
Spawn.
fine. Like, don't get me wrong, he was neat and he like flipped his axe and everything. But
Shot
we're
his
really
little
talking
gun
about
bolts.
something that they put a lot of attention to the play style, and it was very like
And it
like
fit.
Link felt the most fleshed out. He
Yeah.
had arrows, boomerang, and
Bomb.
bombs.
Yep.
And he
And he had a
everything
sword,
si-
so it already fit.
it totally fit. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like the one that mattered the most. And then what was it? Was it Soul Calibur 4 where they added Star Wars characters? And
Yeah, it
each
was
console had a different one?
Yeah.
Darth Vader,
you got-
Yoda, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Darth Vader
That's
and Yoda, right?
Because I have the 360 one.
Yeah, that one had Yoda, right? And the PlayStation had Darth Vader.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
What?
pretty.
I feel like there was a third one.
I could grab
was
it.
There?
Yeah.
Did that come out on the GameCube? Did that come out on the GameCube?
No.
It wasn't GameCube by then. It would have been Wii.
No, because I was already.
So it definitely didn't come out on the Wii.
No, it wasn't on the Wii.
Anyway,
That's the Wii.
Maniacs were referencing this, whereas this would be kind of cool if PlayStation got the Spider-Man, but you know, Xbox and PC got their own
Apprentice.
respective Marvel hero.
Sort of, but you have to think Spider-Man is basically Superman. He's Marvel's Superman. So this
He's
be
the
like
big, he's the big guns.
So this would be like a Justice League game coming out, and Superman is exclusive to the PlayStation. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of in that vein. So you can't replace him in other games with other characters.
It's pretty nuts. You know, you watch those Endgame audience reaction videos, and when Spider-Man hits the screen, the crowd just goes,
because it's Spider-Man.
Man.
Spider-Man at one point was everybody's favorite hero. Like at one point in your life, as a little itty bitty child, even if it was for a day, at one point in your life, Spider-Man was your favorite superhero.
Oh, I liked him. I liked him a whole lot. I used to draw him a lot.
Yep.
I mean, he was also like the teenager.
Yes.
He's the relatable one, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got the cool suit. He's got like the cool powers. You know, he's not
dorky.
Yeah, he's not OP, but he can still hang with the big boys. He's like right in there, you know? So. But actually, in a way, Spider-Man is kind of OP a little bit. But anyway.
His powers have a lot. One of his best powers is plot armor. It's so good.
Well, he's died a few times.
Exactly that. He's died a few times.
But that's all the comics. The only people that stay dead is Uncle Ben and the Waynes, and even that's not guaranteed anymore.
You're very true.
So
I love that you know that statement. Maniacs, if this ever comes back off the ground, there's another podcast called The Evil Petting Zoo, which goes over all of these lovely topics of lore in comics. But it's bleeding over into video games.
Yes.
With our B-list character models. And it'd be different because, you know, in the comics, right, they like Disney bought Marvel and they at times have used the likeliness of the actors. Like there'll be times when, oh my God, that actually looks like Chris Evans, or that really looks like Scarlett Johansson. Like you could see it, and I think they, licensing wise, I think they're kind of allowed to do that. But sometimes it'll look totally different, and it doesn't really veer too far off. So, but with this one, some of the character models don't even like remind me of any of the versions of the comic versions.
And
like,
that's
they're way off.
And you know what though? Like that's fine too, but they just look bad. They're just not.
They look a generation old.
Yeah, they're just the design and how they're implemented. It just does not look good.
Would it be mean of me to compare it to the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite models?
Yeah, no. Honestly, no. That's a very good analogy. Yes, I yes, right up that alley. Where you can tell it's that character, it's playable, but you're just looking at it like, oh,
But the
Like, what is
intern made
this?
it.
Yeah, like who did this? Like what? Like,
Looking
what
at
student,
you, London.
Like what student project was this?
Heard.
So on the flip side of that, I was going off about that in a chat with some former coworkers today, and one of them posted another story, which I've also posted, and it's kind of a follow up to this. Was the beta is out? People have been playing it, and people have been data mining it, which is gold. That's always gold at gaming news, and people will start snooping through all the files and looking at things. And there was 3 other characters referenced in the beta that aren't playable in the game, that don't show up in the story, because I think you only get to play through like the first act and a half, or something like that in the beta. And these 3 characters were War Machine, Kate Bishop, who's the new Hawkeye, who's getting a show actually on Disney Plus, who's going to be in the Hawkeye show if they ever get to that.
I know they never announced casting yet, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a ways off, and with all this other stuff. And finally, She-Hulk, which is one of my all-time personal faves. So a friend of mine was asking, would that sway you to come back and to try the game if She-Hulk was in it? And my answer is maybe. I went and looked on Game Pass just to see if they had any news on it, to see if it was available on Xbox Game Pass, and there's nothing on there related. There's been no announcements. But if it ends up on Game Pass, I will try it out. But if they do add a She-Hulk, that would be something that would tempt me back. So because
I'm such a very particular geek, it would have to be a special version of She-Hulk for me.
Which one?
So I'm talking about, especially since I know it's going to be an action.
Are you going to talk about
game?
the one that like sits in the coffee house all day and just talks?
No.
You want the power suit?
The combination, right? I wanted this She-Hulk to be a combination of She-Hulk from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is a great design, but with also a moveset from Phoenix Wright from Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh, so she can like fight, beat you up, and then also be like objection and all that.
Yeah, like all of her super moves are like a courtroom comes out of nowhere and she's like, guilty, and then like a bailiff like drops on you. Like they can make it so clever.
I see what you're getting at. Yes, that would be cool. Okay.
And Maniacs, if I drop too many acronyms there, when I say UMVC3, I meant Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a Capcom fighter that was adored by fans and comic fans. Brought them together, and as comic book fans,
that crossover is pretty big though.
Yeah, it is. But the characters were represented.
I think you play 3v3 in that?
3v3. But the characters were represented so well. Like no one seemed out of character. Like the move set for the Capcom and the Marvel people, you're like, oh, that's cool that they added that. They know the lore.
Yes.
Like certain moves they'll do, you'll be like, you get this character.
There was a lot of attention to detail, such as Deadpool breaking the 4th wall and like beating you with the health bar. Stuff like that. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Capcom.
I guess we'll segue to me, huh?
Mm-hmm. you got the Capcom topic.
This is my only topic. Maniacs. I am a Capcom shill. I'm a Square Enix shill. Those are pretty definite. Everything else I kind of go in and out of what games I like. But our dear Yoshinori Ono is leaving the Street Fighter team after 27 years. He's been there since Alpha 1.
Holy crap.
Alpha 1. And he was, I believe, part of the sound team for Street Fighter 2. Like, when they were making like Turbo and Super. Because 27 years is before Alpha, I think.
That's 1993, so that's like Turbo Championship Edition territory you're getting into right there.
Super Turbo.
Was 3.
Yeah.
Me too. Anyway, he's leaving. And a lot of this makes sense. I know he was very unhappy with the online play. He was all about being there in person. He was a community manager. You can't, like doing that not in the flesh is like a totally different situation.
But also technology, man.
That is technology, but also he's been at it long enough. And for him, I believe it was a sign to be like, that's a very good career. It's a very good point to walk off on. Also, Street Fighter V was definitely more of an American project than how they did it in Japan.
I want to see where he ends up because he's not going to be out there for long.
Oh,
funny that you mentioned that.
What's up?
Savorings, and maybe Sage Bell knows this. By the way, Sage Bell and I got to see him in the flesh at EVO last year, and he made everybody do a show. You can. He's cute, and he carries a little Blanca with him everywhere.
I was
He's
so
adorable.
tired that day.
I was so drunk that day. But very low
3 hours
key,
of
but
sleep.
not low key. Hanada from Tekken tweeted, "See you soon."
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh no!
So
what? You said a
unofficial.
Namco?
It's about as official as
Tanada.
yeah, Harada in general. He's such a troll. So people, who knows? He's gotten pinged. I mean, he said stuff before that got under people's skin, and people thought a Metal Gear character was going to be dropped in Tekken, and he got in trouble for that.
Oh,
He's like,
last
no,
year.
it's like, yeah, it's like, no, it's
Evo?
funny.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be
I got a
dope.
message.
That'd be dope. Fucking put Solid Snake in Tekken.
Yeah, but
That'd be
anyway,
sick.
that's the goal. And to add to that, with that, the last thing I have to say is news of Street Fighter V. They have announced 4 characters. Dan, which already has his character model and has on-screen like alpha footage,
Nice.
and they verbally announced with old footage of other games,
Mhm.
Rose from Alpha.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
They announced Oro from Street Fighter 3,
3. Okay.
and they announced
Yeah.
Akira from Project Justice from Rival Schools.
Are you serious?
I know that if you
I
watch,
was like, you said that name, and I was like, Sega Saturn? Like,
no, Rival Schools,
Dreamcast?
Project Justice, and I will link London, if you can you link the clip of Maximilian Dude reacting to these?
See,
And then they,
and that's crazy because I remember Rival Schools, like I said, from the Saturn. I think is when I first played it. Wasn't there a Rival
Yeah.
Schools on the Saturn?
I don't know. Luckily, I was allowed to play it in the arcades. We had a cabinet for Rival Schools, and then it came out on Dreamcast.
Okay, yeah, I know it was on Dreamcast, but I want to say it was on the Saturn as well.
And I believe, I don't know if it's still free to play, but they announced that Street Fighter V was free to play. It
Oh,
might
they're gonna do
still
2 weeks of
So
free to
it's
play.
Free to
They
play. All the
really want
characters, I believe, are unlocked.
all 40.
Mhm.
Very good catch. Yes, and that's the news I got.
Story mode too. I couldn't resist.
How funny would that be if someone's like, "Hey, I got Street Fighter. Now I can play story mode."
I know, right? I couldn't resist.
Mm.
That's a joke. I think you've been on the show since we've been doing that, but Derek and I had this whole thing about Street Fighter when it first came out, and I was like, I ain't buying it because no story. And Derek was like, story. We went back and forth for like, I don't know, like a year and a half.
Yeah, and
I
when it
mean,
came down to was demographics. That's all it came down to.
The only game that really had a good story that I could keep track of, which was Blaze Blue, which is actually a very complicated story because you have to play each character and then you have to go back and play different characters and do different answers and different stories to get the full story tree.
Fighting games
But I
are
liked
super
it.
good.
That sounds
I
kind of
know-
cool, actually.
Yeah, it's
But-
like a tree of everything and you have to crisscross and choose different answers because you have to get the wrong answer to get a different story.
But
Oh, what?
Savorings knows that I
Uh-huh.
believe Injustice is highly praised for their story mode.
Oh yeah, the comic is it's probably the best DC comic line that's out right now. Like, and ever since it came out, it's been better than the
And the game is a
better.
good version of that. I'm
Yes, and the
assuming.
game is just like you get to play through parts of that story. But yeah,
As far as a fighting
storyline's
game
excellent.
that I feel does good storytelling, the Naruto Storm series
Yes, I would agree with you there.
is better than watching the last couple years of the anime.
Yeah, my
It's-
stepson plays those, and it's really cool how
It's
the story
incredible.
blends
And
in,
they
yeah.
bring in game elements for you to understand their powers.
Mhm.
At the beginning of a fight, they'd be like, your chakra is gone. Try to defeat this enemy using only taijutsu. And you're like, oh, you really have to like understand the lore of the game. And it plays into part of the game. It's super
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Those are all the topics I had. Play Street Fighter if you want. I'm on Gross Death with a PH. But so many more topics. We really need to move on. But before we go to these last topics,
Yeah.
a quick
Yeah.
reminder to please drink Voodoo Ranger IPA. # live dangerously. Woo! B Corp certified, employee owned. Fantastic beer. And, you know, if you branch out, maybe check out the other New Belgium beers. They also have, they obviously have Fat Tire and...
Fat Tire, Starship IPA, the pumpkin spice one when that comes
Ooh,
back
the
in
pumpkin
season.
Seasonal.
spice one. Yeah, that was
Uh,
seasonal.
ones.
That
What's
might
the
be
one-
coming back. It's almost fall.
What's the one that we usually get? The IPA, the one with the
Juicy Haze.
Yes, Juicy
There's
Haze.
Juice the Fur.
And Juice of
Okay.
Fur.
Juice the Fur's out. Juicy Haze is not out right now.
Okay.
But scope them all out. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share Salt Tier Podcasts. That's Instagram, Twitter, Google Play, iTunes,
Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle, Bumble, Grinder, Facebook,
4chan.
all of the things. And we move on. We move on to the rest of our topics because so much happened this week. I will kick it to
and
Savorings.
I meant to say Steam as well. If you're going to be jumping on and playing Street Fighter, join our Steam group. Just Saltier Podcast, search for it. You'll
Matt
find us
Stotts
in
is
there.
on there.
Yep, ping us on there. One of us will see the message. If you want to play some Street Fighter, play some, I don't know, Stellaris, play some, I don't know, whatever. We have a list of the games that we do play on there, Borderlands 3. Let us know. And
also, like, since we're talking about fighting games, I'm going to kick it over to Sage. The fighting game industry in Japan had a small powwow. Oh, I can't say that. Sorry. They had a roundtable discussion.
There you go. Yeah, that's better.
Jesus, I'm so sorry. They had a roundtable discussion about the state of fighting games in the world. And a lovely little game that our Sage Bill is pretty well versed at got a big announcement, and people are stoked about it. Soul Calibur. Yeah.
What happened over there?
They're bringing in the next character. I want to. Was it Setsuna?
Setsuna.
Setsuna. I knew it from like a very hint in there. It was like before they even showed her on screen. I was like, Setsuna! Like, I just like blurted it out. I was so excited.
She's a really cool character.
Umbrella sword.
Yeah. Nice. So Maniacs in a lot of fighting games, they have palette swaps, and usually palette swaps are just like, this white dude plays exactly like this white dude with dark hair. And the cool thing is, and I'm not saying this is a palette swap because it isn't, but if there were any character similar to Mitsurugi, it would be Setsuna, but they play vastly different and they don't look anything similar. Yeah. He is a Japanese man and she is a white woman. And it's kind of dope how they have similarities though. You know, she still has like the sheath block to counterattack, and so does he. They both play kind of crazy, but it's not. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say how Soul Calibur works. It is if there's two characters that play similar, one is the fast and one is the strong.
Yeah, so like in Soul Calibur, be like, what's his name? Hwang Sung Yoon and who's Sung Mina? Like
no, it's actually Kilik and Sung Mina. Okay. So the other guy with because the other guy has a sword.
Yeah, he has a broadsword, and the other chick has like a rapier or something, right?
Well, no, the first guy you named, Hwang Sung. Yeah, he trained with Sung Mina's father, and that guy has a sword. Kilik and Sung Mina both are staff characters.
Okay. And there's a female character with a sword that plays like Hwang though. Like, what's her name?
Oh, was that Soul Cal 5? When they had all those like kids of the characters?
No, he's just talking another because every character in Soul Calibur has its opposite.
Yeah,
got it.
I don't remember. I only really know like the first two, to be honest with you.
Well,
I forgot her name.
Yeah, no, you know, there's Astaroth and Rock.
Her name starts with an X. It's like
Zhangfua.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's got a gim, some traditional really double-sided. It's like the Green Destiny. Anyway, yes, there's a lot of opposites going on in Soul Calibur. Setsuna is going to be really, really cool in this, and she looks awesome. And they fixed, story mode and gameplay? Like, they fixed
You have the option to not have armor break.
Huh.
Which is great, because that was almost distracting.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it's like just a bunch of extra fireworks in there for, like, no reason. Like, what is all this?
That's how I got into Soul Calibur. That's how I got introed into like Soul Calibur 4. I was just like sent down at a convention because they were doing a tournament and they were playing Soul Calibur. I'm like, oh, I really like this game. I used to play like the other ones. And all of a sudden, boom! I'm like, when did they add that?
Yeah,
they're strict characters.
Yeah,
I was really excited.
So you're gonna start picking up Soul Calibur again, Sageball?
I mean, we already own it. I just haven't been playing it.
Yeah, same here. I haven't touched it.
But that's what I mean. Are you gonna kick back into it?
I mean, probably. I'm better at that game than I am at a lot of other fight games because I played it on 360. So it's just relearning how controls work, but I know all the movements. It's just relearning where the movements are.
You played it on controller, not on pad.
Some of us have been playing it since it was Soul Edge. I'm just saying.
Hey, same here.
Sorry, I wasn't allowed to have video games.
Ungar.
So
They had like a whole like power metal rock song at the intro of the Soul
Yeah.
Edge game.
Yeah,
It's pretty great.
super pixelated. It was, man. Looking back
Well,
on it,
was
the
that
game
Soul
bad.
Edge or Soul Blade?
it'd either be Edge or Caliber. I don't think
They
there
were
is a
all
Blade.
three.
Yeah.
There was a Soul
Oh.
Edge, a Soul Blade, and then it became Soul Calibur. And the history of Soul Edge and Soul Blade is weird. I think it has to do with a port. That's all it is.
Something like that.
Anyway,
yeah.
play the game. Namco's great, y'all.
It is.
They're pretty solid.
Savorings. Goodness gracious, we have so much news and so little time.
Well, we'll get through this. We've already hit up the Marvel thing. Next one is I'm gonna throw this out there for the viewers. I'm gonna throw
You
this
rolling a
out there.
Play-Doh snake?
Yeah, I am. This is kind of juicy. This week, Microsoft and Facebook Gaming kind of came out and kind of blasted Apple for being monopolistic and being greedy with their platform because
Ha!
Facebook,
The nerve.
I know.
Says
I know.
Windows.
Says Windows. It says Facebook of all places, but they do have a point. Facebook is just trying to just go everywhere. Like they're willing to spread their whatever all over and do this and this and this.
Smear it.
Smear it everywhere. Get Facebook everywhere. Microsoft, they've always been about that. Like let's just be on all your stuff. The only reason why Xbox even exists is so they can have a Windows machine in your living room, so they can sell you more Windows stuff. So they've always kind of been about that. But lately, Facebook Gaming, we've talked about them here recently, where Microsoft closed down Mixer and kind of handed everything off to
R.I.P.
Facebook Gaming. Facebook Gaming wanted to put their app on the iTunes store, and of course, Apple turned them down. Microsoft wanted to put Project xCloud on the iTunes store as well, so you can stream games to your Apple device. And Apple turned them both down, both for different reasons. So Microsoft and Facebook are like, "Hey, you guys kind of suck," and everybody's like, "That's hilarious." You two talk saying that they suck.
Yeah,
So
the nerve.
So just throwing it out there.
As an Apple shill of the podcast, I used to feel weird about this, but then, during the rise of the Windows Phone and really good droids,
The rise of the Windows Phone.
when it was starting to get traction, and then when we had really, really like killer Android phones, like the S6, I think, was huge, and when the Pixel first came out, I was like, whatever, man. I'm yesterday's news. I'll just stick with Apple. It's fine. But recently, I've seen more and more of my friends switching to iPhones, like PC people, like Android people, and asking me questions. I'm like, why are you going to Apple? And I've been seeing it more. And is that the state of smartphones right now? Have a lot of people moved over to Apple?
No.
Not as
So
far
then
as I
why
know.
are they trying to get their crap? Like,
It's
Apple's
usually whatever the cheaper deal is on their phone plan.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Apple isn't trying to shill their stuff on Microsoft.
Because
Are
Apple
they?
doesn't show their stuff anywhere because they want you to go and buy their $3,000 laptop. Like that's why they don't show their stuff everywhere else. Microsoft, they want to put Xbox on everything. They want to put Word and Office and Xbox on everything. Same thing with Facebook. They want Facebook Gaming, since it's going to be filling in that gap that Mixer left. They want that everywhere. So they want it on an Apple. Like, why wouldn't you want it on an Apple device? It's a phone.
That's very true, but I feel they are totally in their right to deny that.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's fine. It's their own system. They can do whatever the hell they want to with it. I can see both sides of it.
Same.
So I just think it's hilarious that these companies that are all known just to be shitty are like shitting on each other for being shitty. I thought that was kind of funny. So that's some news. We'll see what comes of that.
I mean, if you want to talk about shitty companies, I just discovered some news
What's up?
about our favorite Overwatchy company. Yeah, Blizzard.
Oh.
No, you got to say Activision Blizzard.
Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
They recently named their they named MLB Deputy Commissioner, its former MLB Deputy Commissioner, the President of Sports Entertainment for their both Overwatch and League and Call of Duty League.
Wait, want to run that past the Maniacs again? Like the Major League Baseball Commissioner?
Yep,
from
the Major
actual
League
physical
Baseball
sports?
Deputy Commissioner
Yeah.
and COO Tony Petiti. as its president of sports and entertainment effective August 17th. He will oversee all the esports.
Oh my god!
Oh, what
Talk
a
about
bad move.
talk about a match made in heaven. You know how crappy Major League Baseball has been run over the last like 40 years at least. Like, you don't want nobody in management for Major League Baseball running a fucking peanut stand, let alone your esports.
This is a death sentence.
We reported on this show what they did to the Hearthstone team last year or the year before. Like, oh my gosh.
So you're saying Overwatch is your new favorite game?
Oh no, Overwatch 2 is my new favorite game, but aren't they the same? But they're not.
I will be honest, I'm probably gonna play the crap out of that. I'm stoked on it.
I mean, yeah, but
I just really want the PvE.
I did not know that, Sage Bell. That is wow.
That's gonna be rough.
Today's news. It literally came out today.
We are definitely going to be talking about this, and probably not in a good light at some point for down the road on this podcast.
I'm doing my Michael Scott awkward bite lip.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be a hard pill. So there are people that are taking COVID well and being innovative. I would not say that baseball is doing that
At all.
No.
Hey, you know what's weird?
Baseball has not run anything well in
the basketball. The NBA audience looks really good. I know that's a stupid thing to say.
They're doing an excellent job.
Like, you know how the faces move? It's like a stream, right?
Yeah.
It looks you stop noticing it in like 5 seconds.
They're doing a really good. I've been watching those games. They've been doing a really good job. To say I'm impressed with what they've done over there, it's pretty crazy.
And I'll say the same thing to FIFA. I was watching some EPL. Sorry, that's whatever. English Premier League. I was watching some footy, and it's kind of weird at first because there's no one in the crowd, but you hear them. Yeah, and it's kind of stupid. I don't even want to say 30 seconds. It must have been 10 seconds, and I was just watching the game. And then I was like, oh, I had to back up. I'm like, I got sucked in so fast. That sounded like I was watching a normal game.
Yeah.
Baseball, you knew it was fake the entire time. They were not doing a good job at that at all.
And plus, they don't have such a good reign on their players. Apparently, the entire Florida Marlins team all caught COVID. So are they just gone? Are they like? How do you even handle that? Like, it's so weird. The NBA.
Like mono,
the NBA one, it's oh my gosh. So the NBA one also, to bring this back to video games, the NBA reached out to 2K, and 2K is helping them with the simulated crowd noise. And at first you couldn't really hear it in the first couple of games, but they've been tinkering with it, and now you can hear the crowd. The players can hear the crowd just fine while they were on the court, but as a person watching the game, you can hear it. So it's really weird to hear every little squeak, every little ball bounce when they're shooting free throws. It was like church in there.
Sure.
But now they have like the crowd, and they have it piped, like to the audience, and it's pretty cool. And that's 2K. They're 2K stepped in and helped them figure out the AI and the sound for the crowd and stuff.
And it'd be a very strange way to make this work. And I don't know if this will happen, but it might, because this is the way my brain thinks. If they did like a streamer / shoutcaster as fans pumped into the audio, not just like randomly generated or recorded crowd noises, but
that would be cool. I know what you
have
mean.
like season ticket owners being like, you in your living room will literally be part of the crowd watching it as it happens.
Yeah, and they could like take your mix and then mix your voices and your cheers with like I
feel like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
They're already there watching it, and every egomaniac hardcore sports fan would love to say they were part of a broadcast.
Yeah.
And
which is sort of the effect they're getting when with like the big screen and you can see all the people watching the stream. Like that's pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah.
And some people like with those, because you have to buy those screens, right, to have your face in the crowd.
I think it's weird. They have a weird partnership with somebody you would never expect. Let's do like Johnson & Johnson or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But
it's like do something and you stream it through there, and then you end up being on that screen randomly.
There are people that are already trolling the tech because it's just a camera, right? And so people are like wearing outfits and costumes.
Yes.
People are doing like it's based,
And Shaq shows up. Shaq shows up in there sometimes, and he takes up like 2 screens almost. He's like overlapping people next to him. It's hilarious.
That's so good. Well, hopefully they figure out something good, or we come up with the vaccine, and this whole stupid 2020 can get on with it.
Yeah, get on with it. Just give me Flight Simulator and Cyberpunk and the new consoles. And
Give
let's
me
just move
Black Widow and Tenet. Jesus freaking Christ! I want those movies so bad.
on. Black Widow, I feel conflicted because if we get that movie, there's not going to be any other MCU. Like I want them to wait until they're going to start releasing all the MCUs again.
Well, the thing is,
because if we
they
get Black
can't
Widow right
show-
now,
no, we
it'll
can
be
get
like months until we get
no.
something else.
As soon as Black Widow drops, we get Falcon Winter Soldier. Like they can't drop Falcon Winter Soldier because it takes place after. Like
No.
there's
I don't mean
clues.
drop, but like for them to finish it and then for
Oh
them to,
yeah,
to,
to be
to
like
edit it and then
one
for them
thing
to
a
air it.
year.
Yeah,
it'll be rough.
So I kind of want them to wait until they have like 5-6 things all lined up and then drop Black Widow and then like a
They
month
need to
later
do something because
like
the
a
last
month
thing
later
they
we
dropped,
get this
the last thing they dropped was
in game Spider-Man Far From Home.
that was the last thing.
What was there not one right after that? There had to have been. What was
Nope.
the fall one?
That was Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man's usually summer.
Yeah, it was like the end of summer,
Yeah,
beginning
it
of
was-
fall.
It was
It was August release, maybe
something
late
like
July.
that. Far From Home. Yeah.
But there hasn't been anything that after that drop, they already started like building up the Black Widow movie.
Yep.
That was supposed to be because remember Black Widow was supposed to be May.
Yeah. We were supposed to have already
My
watched
birthday.
that like 3 months ago.
Anyway, Maniacs, we don't have to wrap it up, but we do have to get on with it. We got a couple minutes left to get through these topics.
Actually, we just got the one left. I'll drop the one here on the end. But
Heyo.
Horizon Zero Dawn, while we're talking about PlayStation and their exclusives, that released on the PC this week. And much disappoint. And this is also strange because we have been getting some very solid ports on the PC. Like over the last like year or two, there hasn't been really too much that's an issue besides Borderlands 3 and the other occasional game here and there. But as far as like bigger games, they've all been pretty spot on. So Horizon Zero Dawn came out for the PC, and its port is not horrible. It's just not very well optimized, and you can tell that they kind of skipped some steps. And I don't know, Digital Foundry had a field day with it, and a lot of people are with very decent computers are having a hard time running it, and it's stuttering and it's doing all kind of weird stuff. So a little disappointing to get this thing that we weren't expecting. It comes out, it looks great, but then it doesn't run the best. So that's been kind of a thing here in the PC gaming sphere. Like, oh, come on. I thought we were kind of getting over these bad ports. But in all fairness, that game does not run well on anything. It does not run well on the PlayStation either. So tit for tat. Shitty ports. What do you guys think? Sage, you're playing Borderlands 3. What's up? What do you think about shitty ports?
I hate. At least the game streams, but it crashes. So,
Yeah.
But I've never had a Borderlands game crash on me before.
Yeah. They've always been very relatively lightweight, very decently optimized. Even though back then on the PlayStation 3 and the 360, the architecture on those systems were very different from each other, and both are very different from the PC. The Xbox 360 was a little bit closer, but it was still kind of different. But all three versions of that game ran great for the platforms that they were on. So I kind of find it hard to believe that this game that was made on basically PCs in a box, the Xbox and PlayStation 4, got a crappy port to an actual PC.
Because my friend I play it with was having like such a shitty time with it that same day. And so I was reading to him all the specs you gave me to put on. You should not have to like respec your entire game to get it to run.
Yeah, where there's 20-minute walkthroughs on YouTube telling you how to set up your specs on a game. Like
that's rough. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a bad a bad port that ever came to console. And I'm Maniacs, I'm going to age myself and talk decades in the past because they haven't been terrible since CD technology. Not really.
Warframe, the console version of Warframe is garbage.
I guess I'm only talking about fighters. The only thing that really came to mind was, I think it was it X-Men vs Street Fighter, where they didn't allow you to play as a tag game. You had to play it 1 versus 1.
Yes, because there wasn't enough memory.
Yeah,
also,
so that was kind of rough.
Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis.
That wasn't even bad because remember, Sega Genesis beat. They had a little one up on the Street Fighter version.
But the
Super Nintendo version.
But the sound and the responsiveness on a Sega controller was just horrid.
But here's the thing that was a plus. Sega put out a 6-button controller
Yes.
and laid them out like the
Yes.
Capcom.
Yes.
So all of my hardcore arcade friends are like, "Oh, you have it on SNES? Pfft, we're going to Derek's. He has it on freaking Genesis." Like that mattered so much.
That was the best thing that came out of that crap port was that they released that 6-button controller. I will agree
But
with
you
that.
still got to practice. I remember the input was pretty rough.
Yes.
But you still got to get. I got to practice. Yeah, but the sound, like, who cares? I mean,
no, the sound was screechy. Like your game should be screeching at you.
Yeah,
the Super
but
Nintendo had a.
But once again, basically playing it at home was a training gym for when you went to the arcade.
Yeah.
In that portion of time, your experience was not the home version. The home version was like, it's almost like, hey, I'm trying to be a better boxer during my sparring, and at home I have a heavy bag.
Yeah.
I could practice on this, and then when I get back to the arcade, I could actually fight. Like that's kind of how that works.
Yeah, but if we're talking not so great ports of fighting games, that Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis was not so great.
Oh, but Street Fighter 2 on Game Boy was even rougher.
Oh boy. I forgot that exists.
Yeah, man. And there's other things that are Maniacs. I'm going to take the time portal way back here because this is something a lot of people don't know. Final Fight was insanely popular when it first came out in arcades.
It was
so popular. It was a really funny beat 'em up. It was one of the first side-scrolling beat 'em ups that seemed to have really good collision and and Sage Bell, chime in if this sounds familiar. Like really iconic character design. Like it wasn't just like thugs and thieves. Like know what Andre looked like. You know what Rolento looked like. Poison was a transvestite, and that was really kind of weird.
Freaking Guy had the Jordans on. Like that shit was so dope.
Guy didn't get the Jordans until Alpha. Sadly to tell you that. You can look it up. It's not in Final Fight. I know that sucks.
What?
But he's just wearing weird ninja booties.
Okay.
Sorry, I know that sucks. Okay. But yeah. And also, fun fact, everybody. Guy's likeliness was based on Guy Picciotto from Fugazi, because someone in Japan's development team was really into post-hardcore.
Okay.
And made it look like this rock and roll like icon and didn't tell anybody. And people found out like a decade later. They're like Guy Picciotto? They're like, yes.
I just remember his light punch was just like
yes. Anyway, when that got super popular, Nintendo was the only big system. So they did an 8-bit Final Fight. And it's nothing like the original Final Fight. They basically made a brand new game. And it was so weird. But it was really fun.
Right in the same vein, another Capcom game, another one that was on a 16-bit system and on an 8-bit system at the same time. Fucking Strider. Strider on the NES was doo-doo. The one on the Genesis is a timeless classic. You can play that game right now and it's still badass.
Wasn't that one of their launch games they bloated about? It's like, hey, did you play the bullcrap version of Strider? Here's the real one.
Yes, the one on the Genesis to this day is still a sick game. The one on the Super Nintendo is one of the worst games ever made, probably. It's up there.
And so, that, Maniacs, is my closing statement. My closing statement is, be wary of ports. Once again, ports. Be wary of porn. Be wary of ports. And if at all possible, play them in the flesh, wired, and not over the internet. And please to God, if you're trying to play competitive fighting games, do not play over Wi-Fi. You're ruining it for the rest of the entire community.
Do not play games in general over Wi-Fi if you can help it. But if you have like a PlayStation or something, you might be okay. But like if you can wire that bad boy in, do it.
Please and thank you. I am Loudnbrown at Loud letter N Brown on Instagram and Twitter. I am Gross Stuff with a PH on PS4 and Steam. I will kick it off to Savorings.
This is the Savorings ... I'm not really up to much. Hit me up on Steam. That's probably the best way to reach us. Hit us up on the Facebook. I will be playing Microsoft Flight Simulator when that comes out next Tuesday. I don't know if I'll be streaming it. I should be streaming. I don't know why I'm not. I got nothing else to do. But if you were planning on picking that game up, let me know somehow, either on the Steam group or on the Facebook group, and we'll fly around and like do some stuff. Like let's go fly over your house, since everybody's house is literally in that game. I'm gonna fly over your house, Sage Bell, because I know where it is. I'm gonna fly over your house, Loudnbrown, because I know where it is.
Come get the
So-
blueberries.
We got we got to dope this in. Our official Fourth Musketeer came in. Was the Dark Souls PC port that bad?
Was there a Dark Souls PC port?
That's what Stoddy says.
I totally forgot about that. And that was when it came out, it was a game for Windows Live game, which made it even worse.
Oof.
And I remember at that time I had a Toshiba laptop, and that game would play like 49 out of 50 games fine, but it was that one game, and it just stumbled over it. And Dark
Those
Souls,
Toshibas, man. That
Dark
was a deal.
Souls, yeah, it was. And Dark Souls was yes, good call, man. Yes, Dark
Thank you,
Souls
Stoddy.
was a shit port. It was a shit port. There's actually a fix for that game. It's called DX Fix, Dark Souls Fix. And you basically, if you play that original PC version, you have to download that mod to play it, or else it's just almost unplayable.
Wow,
So, yeah,
that's bad.
good call on the Dark Souls, because that game was unplayable.
Savorings, how do the Maniacs find you?
On the Steam group or on the Facebook, holla.
Tight.
I will pass it off to the best looking one in chat.
Agreed.
That's you, Sabizmo.
Let's see. Closing statement. Stay safe. Wear your fucking mask.
Yes.
Don't do baptisms in the middle of a park.
Oh my god.
You can Google that. Ask Jeeves about it, Maniacs. Seattle's stupid sometimes.
Don't go to parties. I'm seeing all these people going to parties and what are you doing? Don't go to parties, please. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah. I got this cute owl pin with a knife.
That's actually dope.
That actually
Because
is dope.
I was buying Stitch things off of Hot Topic, and I saw an owl pin, and so I needed it. Mostly because I like having birds with knife things. I have a couple of arts with it for some reason. So I'm a weirdo.
That's awesome.
Are you a buff? Are you a birds with knives buff? Is that what's going on?
I guess so. Whenever they do those like pick crew things where you can like customize your own little character, whenever the character's holding a knife, she always has fangs and a knife, and she's like, I don't know where it came from. Catch me on Twitch on Thursday nights / Sagebell, probably playing Borderlands. If I play anything else other than Grounded, I can stream it. I don't know why it doesn't run on my computer. It's fine.
That game is super taxing. Grounded.
It's super new too.
Yeah.
So it's like crashed. It almost crashed. So it like half crashed, which kicked Matt out of game,
Yeah.
but didn't kick me out of the game.
Yeah.
And I was the host.
Okay.
I didn't have internet for a week. I wasn't here last week. Oh my god.
What? No internet for a week?
Yeah, that was a whole hurdle.
How'd you survive?
Yeah, I had to work off my data. Derek in chat shared our guest for next week.
Yeah. So Maniacs, next week, hopefully. And also, even if she's not able to make it next week, I'm gonna once again say a big thank you to the Soundcasting Network for hosting us. Thank you, super producer Keith the Boogie, and the Soundcasting Network. Like and subscribe all of those lovely podcasts. Very, very great, especially in the world of podcasts where it's like 1,000 billion white men. He has a very diverse range of stuff out there. Notably, the Glow Up is kind of super tight, especially if you want to know about the music scene in Seattle specifically. It's really tight to hear it from the individuals that are running that. So scope it. Also, big ups to Voodoo Ranger once again. Drink all of the beer. Hashtag live dangerously. And in addition to Sagebell's stream, which is, what is your stream on Twitch?
Twitch at 7 p.m. Twitch.tv/Sagebell.
Thank you. We have one of our dear, dear friends from the anime and video game scene. She goes by Nicole B. And her Twitch is, Twitch TV / it's Nicole B. with BEE. And she's been making the most adorable content, especially if you're a Switch gamer. Like when Pokemon dropped, didn't she stream for like a week as a trainer? Because she's a cosplayer too. So she'll have a full costume on and she'll kind of walk through it. And she's really big on Animal Crossing. And it's fantastic content. Give her a heads up. She's adorable. She has a Twitter. all the things, a friend of the podcast and a friend of the people on the podcast, really.
Woo!
Woo!
Yep.
Nicole
Uh,
B.
I have to say, I didn't know this, but I know. I know I bought Street Fighter 5 because it's got a good sale. But I
Ooh.
also bought Soul Calibur 6
Hey.
a couple weeks ago.
Rack
So
'em
it's
up.
I got everything on PC now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get whenever he's done with his career training, we're gonna get Von Shady back in here because he is a avid Voldo main, and he is a nasty boy. He's the reason, Maniacs, if you've been watching this podcast for a while, that I got slapped in the face on Thanksgiving in 2019. Oh, 2018.
Yeah, not
lost
last
a-
year.
Yeah, I lost a slap bet from Soul Calibur, and I got 5 across the eyes. It was beautiful. But I want to thank everybody for listening to the Salt Tier Podcast, Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast where your argument is
Invalid.
Thank you. Like, subscribe, please keep tuned. I think London's going to try to get this stuff out on YouTube. This has been a production of the Soundcasting Network. Thank you kindly. Ew.